you're still listening to 105.5 People's FM. Thank you so much for staying with us. We told you we'll be here at the other side of 9 o'clock, and here we are. All right, right now we'll be looking at insecurity in the FCT and neighboring states. Before we get into the details of it, my name is Mira Mohammed, and I'm right here with
Maduka with Jiban.
All right, okay. Talking about insecurity in the FCT and neighboring states, despite hosting all headquarters of Nigeria security agencies, Abuja and environs remains a place of security concerns. There are reported cases of kidnappings, an example being the one that happened last week along the Abuja-Lokoja Expressway. A Sharon bus carrying 16 passengers near Shikara, if you know that road very well, Shikara village, was shot at. The driver was killed and 16 of the passengers were abducted. Or should we look at the Sagwari layout estate in Dutsing, where 3 people were killed because they couldn't meet up with the ransom. On time, in fact, they couldn't meet up on time with the ransom. We could go on and on and on and on. We have right here in the studio Comrade Salihu Danzeta Mahmoud. He is the Director of Security Salute Nigeria. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
A very pleasant morning to you and my elder statesman, Ambassador Extraordinary Plenipotentiary Maddox.
All right. Looking at the security situation in the FCT and neighboring states, I mean, what does this mean for the fight against insecurity in Nigeria if the center is troubled?
Well, insecurity is not peculiar to Nigeria alone, and I think sometimes when development is taking place, this is what you see, because even advanced countries like United States of America, United Kingdom, and other advanced democracies have their own flesh of insecurity. Notwithstanding, I think as the giant in the sun and the largest country in Africa and the most beautiful city in Africa, it is shameful to say that with all the modern architecture, with all the presence of headquarters of the armed forces, police and other security agencies, that we are still experiencing some skeletal insecurity in FCT. You are even going far. There is classification in insecurity. There are mania ones, there are major ones, and there are skeletal ones. Let me bring you to the skeletal ones that happens within the metropolitan center here.
Okay.
By 7 o'clock, for instance, you can't dare walk from National Mosque to Tofa House on foot, except if you are lucky. There is a dangerous bush path towards the right where you have banana plantation beneath that links you to Mohammed Abacha Estate, and to the other side, Sheraton Hotel, that is now Abuja Intercontinental Hotel. All you see, even when you are driving and your passenger seat glass is worn down, you just see somebody come in rush and put hands in your vehicle and take either your handset or laptop or other value. It has happened right in my eyes severally while I'm driving. The only thing you hear is, oh my purse, oh my handset, and this. Then also, from Zone 4 Bridge to Wuse Bridge, you can't walk that path freely. You see these boys in their numbers, sometimes 3 or 4, come out with machetes, cutlasses, and what have you, not even asking you to give them the handset or other valuables in peace. The first thing they will do is by bringing a knife and getting either the part of your intestine or other part. We've lost a member of the Department of State Services in that same area I am mentioning here, then other parts of the metropolis. That is where you are even calling the metropolitan area. Now, when you come outskirts, Buhari, Kwali, Gwagwalada, Duse, Nyanya, and others, theirs is in geometric form. Like you mentioned, issue of kidnap. I think it is lost of surveillance. During the administration of late Head of State General Sani Abacha, there used to be what you call surveillance team, made up of both the Directorate of Military Intelligence of the Land Army, Directorate of Naval Intelligence of the Nigerian Navy, Director of Air Intelligence of the Nigerian Air Force, the police CID, mobile police officers, Department of State Services, NIA, and others that moves in station wagon 504 or sometimes in GMC in disguised form. Majorly, you see them in bush paths, hiding, to survey, to lay surveillance, to see what is happening. Because for you to be able to tackle criminal-related crimes like kidnapping and banditry, you need to have enhanced surveillance and intelligence gathering. And in this present situation, even though I want to be fair to the incumbent Commissioner of Police, Bennett Igwe, since his inception as Commissioner of Police, he has been doing a lot, because we can vividly recall what happened in Buhari. He had to lead some team alongside the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Sabo, who was in charge of Special Intervention Squad of the Inspector General of Police then, as well as some routine of military officers, and also the intelligence response team, that they combed bush paths in Mpape, Buhari, and other, that they were able to apprehend some kidnappers, bandits, and what have you. He's been doing a lot, because most of the times I came across him leading team of his officers to Zuba, Dede, and others. But you know, when you also look at the man force of both the DSS, police, and army, what is the number of population of people living in Abuja, and the security agencies like the police, army, DSS, and others are also facing shortage of logistics, inadequate funding, and also others. And for you to meet up 100% on security, you need proper logistics, proper funding. Where you see some of the outposts of the police in the FCT, you go there, there are no serviceable 5 AK-47s. What are the nature of arms that these kidnappers use? Sometimes they use AK-49 and even RPGs, and even landmines and dynamite, and also
you're talking about warfare grade weapons now.
That is it.
When you say RPG, that's rocket propelled grenades.
That's
supposed to be warfare. That's not.
So some of the kidnappers have it. There was a time there was a sting operation by both the Nigerian police and other service agencies in Kwale area. Some of the catchment of arms they got will amaze you. Most of these miscreants that go into kidnapping and bandit related what have you, they get trainings that are not more than 3 weeks. But the surprising thing is, who are the people that funds them to get this catchment of arms remains a question to be answered. Because a police officer, if you are joining at the non-commissioned level, you train at police college. If you are joining at the commission level, you train at police academy, and you know the numbers of years or months they spend there. Then coming to the land army and others, for you to become a non-commissioned officer, maybe from private, you go to depot Nigerian Army, you spend up to 9 months before you do passing out parade. Then if it is Nigerian Defense Academy, whether regular combatant officer or short service, for regular combatant officers, they spend up to 4 years from Tamar 1 up to the final Tamar before doing passing out parade. Then same thing extend to others. Then you now see these miscreants that are trained 3 weeks, overpowering some of our agents. That is to tell you, conspiracy is there, compromise is also there. Of recent, some military and police officers were caught that were found to be selling arms to some of these miscreants that are called kidnappers and armed bandits and also others. So that is why also supervision at the higher echelons of both the police, military, DSS, and others need to be enhanced. Because if you say, because I'm Commissioner of Police, Deputy Commissioner of Police, Assistant Commissioner of Police, or Director of DSS, or Deputy Director of DSS, or I am Commanding Officer rank of Colonel, or I am Naval Base Commandant at rank of Navy Captain, or Air Force Unit Commander or Base Commander, and Air Commodore or Group Captain. I cannot go and supervise. Then you leave it to Flying Officer, Deputy Superintendent of Police. You leave it to Deputy Superintendent of Civil Defense or Deputy Superintendent of Department of State Services. Then you aren't going to get results. So that is why we've been over time calling for the total restructuring of the security architecture. When I say restructuring of the security architecture, not only police, because when you talk of security, they all contribute, and that is why we call them security agencies. From the armed forces, which has 3 arms,
Army, Navy, Air Force, then come to police, then come to DSS, NIA, Nigerian Customs Service, Immigration, Civil Defense, Fire Service, including road safety, including even residual creations like VIO, because like in FCT here, there is what you call Ministerial Task Force. That Ministerial Task Force is not made up of only VIO, no. You have the VIO there, DSS, police, civil defense, and other service agencies. So the issues are, once you want to fight criminalities like kidnapping, armed banditry, and other armed robbery and what have you, you need to capacitate the security personnel, officers and personnel, because the non-commissioned officers are personnel, while the commissioned officers are the officers. So you need to improve their welfare when they are going for sting operations or combing of the bush or surveillance and what have you. Are the vehicles motorable enough, in motorable state, like roadworthy? Then two, are you feeding them within the period? Then are you giving them allowances that will be attractive so that they will not be able to compromise? Are you also giving them befitting temporary accommodation, just the type they do for when they are to train people that are going for peacekeeping, where you have some canopy and host of other things? So some of these inadequacies also lead sometimes to compromise and sell out, where you see a personnel or an officer trying to romance the criminals in order to get some what have you, as related to maritime waters. You've seen over time news about when ships are apprehended, where maybe on the way of bringing them to custody, they compromise along the waterways, maybe if the expatriate gives some amount of dollars, which is happening in Niger Delta right now. So the issues in FCT is, one, in the FCT, the Federal Capital Territory Administration, that the minister is in charge. You have a full-fledged security services department manned by a director. Beyond just getting some approvals to complement the effort of the police, DSS, army, and what have you, let there be enough budgetary allocation that if the minister is launching vehicles for the police, DSS, civil defense, and other service agencies, it should be accompanied with attractive allowances and other facilities. Take example of Lagos State. They've had what you call rapid response squad, right from the administration of Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu as governor from 1999, 2007 that Fashola took over, till when Ambode took over, till today that Sanwo-Olu is there. The rapid response squad is there, made up of the police, army, navy, air force, civil defense, road safety, NDLA, immigration, and other service agencies. So I think FCT must borrow suit. If possible, let the rapid response squad of the Nigerian police be extended to have conformity with that of Lagos, so that it will be extended beyond just RRS, because you see some ILOPs packed in junctions behind RRS by the police and whatever. Let it go beyond just the police. Let the rapid response squad of FCT be like that of the Lagos, to be made up of the police, other service agencies. They have inter-service agency patrol in FCT, but it's not as strong as that of the Lagos.
But Comrade, let me pull you back a little bit. The perception is that the security architecture in the FCT is designed in a way that the city center, the town, the Abuja, not the entire FCT, is well policed, at least better policed, if I should put it that way, than the outskirts, the suburban areas. By the time you start going outside of the Abuja Municipal Area Council into the other area councils, more towards the fringes, people are at the mercy of, let me use your word, miscreants, robbers, kidnappers, and all. There are some areas in Abuja that will tell you they don't sleep. There's no day of the week that they sleep with their two eyes closed. Robberies and other forms of disturbances happen in those places. But if you come into the heart of Abuja, there seems to be better security. Even though we can still pick holes in this, don't you think that the weakness, as it were, perceived weakness in the outskirts is placing a burden also on the city center, and probably something should be done about it?
Well, I don't completely agree that metropolitan center is well policed, because
That's why I said better police.
not better policed, because we are there to be better policing in the metropolis. There wouldn't have been this skeletal snatching of telephones, handbags, and what have you in the central area. For example, Federal Budget Bank to Sahar stores up to National Center for Women Development. These areas are flashpoints.
Especially at night or early in the morning.
Yes. Early in the morning, around 6, you dare not stroll anyhow. 8 o'clock, you dare not stand close to Fidelity Bank, close to that CD Plaza, towards the opposite by the right. They will come from that bush path, snatch your asset. Same thing extends to some parts of Wusetu, Mabushi Bridge. That beggar mosque, severally, we've had cases of where if you park by that mosque, that is allowed to be there, where you come to Sona mosque in
Just
Kenya,
before beggar.
they will come and snatch your phone or handbags. Beggar areas, Utako, they've stabbed people severally. Even a top echelon of Department of State Services, the house was attacked some weeks ago or months ago. In Apo area, it was in the news. I think they even killed somebody in the house. Apo is still metropolitan part of FCT. So the whole issue is, I think what needed to be done is to, organize a security summit or interaction. I'm very glad Nyesom Wike was 2-term governor of a riverine state like River State. He knows what it takes. So I think Nyesom Wike, with due respect, should, organize a security summit where some experts will be brought in, media will be invited, then certain trainings will be given by resource persons, maybe criminologists or security experts, to some of these members of the security agencies on how to go on surveillance and others. I know within their security circles they are their own experts, but in line with international expectation and standards, periodically those summits are organized in order to further capacitate on trainings, because no one is an island of knowledge. So to the best of my knowledge now, FCT is in dire need of built security, and this can be achieved through enhanced intelligence gathering. In the 80s and early 90s, we knew of how the police CID used to disguise their female, even disguised as women of low virtue. I don't want to mention the popular name there. Then the men will disguise as crippled people or taxi drivers, or sometimes people selling things, shoemaker and what have you, just to get information. What happened to this kind of disguised methods in the intelligence field? So these are questions the security agencies need to answer. Like I told you, the Commissioner of Police, his other counterparts like the Director of DSS, like Commandant of Civil Defense, like the Director of Director of Road Traffic Services, known as VIO, Sector Commander of FRSC and others, periodically with the Commissioner of Police, they normally meet and appraise how the performance has been. Then again, Mr. Maddox, issue of one chance, lest I forget, is another burning issue. From last week till yesterday, the numbers of personal interaction I had with victims of one chance, majorly from Area 1 to Lube to Kuje, then Kuje to Giri Junction. They don't do it in the night any longer. Sometimes 3 o'clock, sometimes 2. One of the last victims, she boarded the Corolla with black color from Lube. They pretended they were going. So when they moved some meters away, they now pretended that the vehicle is overloaded, that go out. Unknowingly to her, they've already taken a purse as well as handset. Then they left. Then another one, she entered the vehicle from Bega along Katampe, Gwarempa. That was why that was where they collected her handset, laptop, and other valuable. Then threw her in the moving vehicle. Then the one chance case, I know in FCT we have ministerial task force. Like I mentioned to you, they are made up of the VIO, made up of civil defense, police, DSS, and other agencies. If you go and see the operational vehicles of ministerial task force, you'll be angry because some e-logs are unmotorable and what have you, I think the Federal Capital Territory Administration, there are revenues coming into FCTA. Let them launch brand new operational e-loxes for that ministerial task force, so that beyond just Okada operation, anti-Kabu Kabu and others, they can take anti-one chance seriously, because I am very, very optimistic that that ministerial task force, if better funded and capacitated, can fight that one chance. Because sometimes, as if they have some tricks that they use to, because periodically they arrest some of them, but sometimes for you to be able to achieve 100%, you need logistics and what have you. So His Excellency FCT Minister in some wiki should look into that.
But following up on what you just said about logistics, recently Wike distributed 100 motorcycles to the 6 area councils for patrols and all that, to vigilantes, and then to the different security agencies, the police, DSS, everybody. Don't you think that is something that would also aid the fight against insecurity, especially in the outskirts, just not in the middle of the Abuja?
That is if the motorcycles are used for the purposes why they were given. Sometimes, if you give without monitoring or supervising, that is problem. I want to tell you now, if me and you and Mariam go to either Dobi, Anagada, Ushapa, Gwagwalape, and most of these outskirts, area councils in outskirts, or even Kuje or Gwargwada, you hardly see 5 of these motorcycles and the bush paths patrolling. I know most of these axes because I've served in Gwagwalaga area council before. I know the terrain. If, for example, now you leave Gwagwalaga, you are going to Dobi. From Dobi, you can link to Niger State. It's another. There is a terrible forest there, where they are even speculating that some bandits are in some of this, because from Dobi straight you can find few villages that are settlers there. You bust to Izom. From Izom you can be going to Mina and others. Those areas, in terms of security, have been neglected. That I have to say. Most of these motorcycles, if we are to be realistic, I think the divisional police officers or the station officers or the civil defense representative and other military representatives should ensure that most of these motorcycles go into this bushfire, because most of these bandits are in Niger. They already know those, axes. Then again, when you come to Abajeria Council, there is a part called Gau. That Gau, there is Gau FCT, there is Gau Niger. It's water part. They also need to get canoes, where if possible marine police can patrol, because those bandits can also take advantage of those areas. Then when you leave Abaji, you are going to Lokoja before you get to all these other areas. They needed to be manned. Then coming to side of Rubochi, coming to Gwargwada and other Kiri and also other things. These are Kuje area councils. Then when you now come to Buhari area council, Ushapa, then again when you leave Buhari, you are going to Kaduna. Those push paths are also very, very important to be monitored, because they are also entry points and exit to the FCT. So I think it was a good gesture by the minister, but I think beyond just giving them the motorcycle or launching them, he should make his director of security appoint supervisors from the civil service to monitor.
The usage.
Unaware, they can move unaware for them to know whether the motorcycles are. But beyond motorcycles, like I'm talking of one chance in the city center now, they need to also launch same type of motorcycles for the ministerial task force, as well as operational vehicles, then logistics, welfare, because one chance is becoming another thing in the city center. Yeah. And there is no specific time.
The one chance now. That's the topic of its own.
A lot of people have died.
It's the biggest menace in the FCT.
There was a time I had to condemn my left side fender in order to assist a woman who was almost becoming a victim, because they already carried her. Unfortunately for her, I was going somewhere and I saw her hands. Among the occupants in the vehicle told me, don't worry, we are together. I said, no. That's why I pursued the vehicle. I also alerted some taxi drivers. By one of the pedestrian bridges, I double-crossed, condemned the fender, but we succeeded
In rescuing the
the lady. And they were apprehended and arrested as well. So I think one chance needed to be taken very seriously. Then again, what they've been doing it, but they need to further intensify on synergy, to synergize, because interagency cooperation is key. In FCT, we have headquarters of most of the agencies, including their intelligence arms and what have you. So I think they need not to show differences in their operations. If it is time for civil defense to go for operation, without police begging them, they can say, CP sir, give us some boys to join us. If it is time for the police to go, they can call the Nigerian Army, the AHQ, and say, please, we are going for operation, give us some boys from gas brigades. The naval unit too can do that. If you are going, extend Olive Branch to Air Force can do to road safety can do to VL can do to NDLA.
All right, thank you very much, Comrade Sally. Before we go on, let's open the studio lines so that people can call in, make comments, and of course ask you questions. 0911 222 1055. 0911 222 1055. Of course, on Facebook or X as well. All right, drop your comments there. People's 105.5 FM on X, and on Facebook, we are People's 105.5 FM. All right, Comrade Sally, you talked about synergy, collaboration among agencies. The FCT minister, when he assumed office, and he talked on the fact that Abuja has security issues as well. He said they were going to collaborate with neighboring states, talking about Kogi, Nasarawa, Niger, Kaduna. These states are interconnected, and you've also mentioned the fact that there are routes that some of these criminals take. How do you see this collaboration, helping with the situation?
The collaboration will go a long way. No security agency can survive in isolation. If, for example, in Office of National Security Advisor, you have their various representatives there, that is to tell you the success of security agencies lies on synergy and cooperation. Already they have that coordination office there. Because one, it gives them the opportunity to share gathered intelligence. Gathered intelligence in the sense that it is very possible that it's police CID that gathered intelligence about the presence of some criminal elements in Wuse 2. Extending it to DSS makes fleeing of those criminals difficult, because of course the DSS will in turn take actions, then inform the gas brigades of the Nigerian Army, then the gas brigades in turn informing naval unit. So if those criminals are to escape through the maritime waters, it is the duty of the Nigerian Navy now to do what? Apprehend them through the maritime waters. Then if it is on road, the police, VIO, road safety, army, civil defense have that responsibility. For example now, as I'm coming here this morning already, on traffic control, you can find police standing by the side, road safety, VIO, civil defense. What are they all doing there? They are trying to ensure that the traffic flow. So from traffic control, take the importance of cooperation. Because the VIO alone cannot do it, traffic warden of the police cannot do it alone, road safety alone cannot do it, and others. So this A, security agency need the B need the C need the D. Just the way I just gave you the practical example now. When it comes to air, you need the Air Force, the corporation. If any escape is to be through the Air Force has the capability. They use their water to get that. Then if it is through the maritime waters, the Nigerian Navy. Then footpaths, you have the police, mobile force, conventional police, civil defense, you have the army, then you have the road safety, you have the VIO. Let me give you an example. In 2011, fleeing Boko Haram in 911 vehicle, because of the intel shared, the VIO officers in Asokoro, by that under the bridge, were checking. Then this 911 that left Maiduguri fleeing with Boko Haram insurgents came and they stopped them. They tried to induce the VIO personnel with bribe. He said no, because the papers of the 911 were expired. Then when they inspected it manually, it was not roadworthy. The traffickers and what have you, they tried to bribe, the guy refused. He called the area commander. They now drove the 911 into their compound in AYA. So at the time, they now call the CO, commanding officer in Mogadishu barracks, to say, so 911, we apprehended it through vehicle inspection, but they look suspicious. Please avail us of your officers to come and carry out the intelligence, what have you. The army came from Mogadishu barracks, and during the interrogation, they realized they are fleeing Boko Haram insurgents. This is what cooperation can achieve. That was how they arrested that 911. The records are straight. There is a particular Major Madaki. He was also military police there. If he's listening to me, he's aware. Then the area commander in charge then should be listening to me now. They are all aware. That is the cooperation between the VIO, that is even a residual creation, and the Nigerian army. So synergy and cooperation goes a long way. Most of these successes being recorded on the fight against insurgency and armed banditry in both northwestern state of Zamfara, Kebbi, Katsina, and north central state of Niger are as a result of cooperation. Same thing, the fight against insurgency in northeastern state of Borno, Yobe, and others. In Maiduguri, for instance, the Air Force is there, the police is there, the army is there, even immigration that are in charge of entry and exit, they are also there. They are armed squad. You know, they have people that bear arms. So cooperation and synergy in FCT can beef up security, can make the security agencies to achieve security, for them to carry out onslaught against criminal elements, either bandits, kidnappers, or most of these one chance operators, or even these ones that snatch bags in central area, Wuse Bridge, Zone 4 Bridge, and other suburbs in the outskirts of the FCT. So cooperation is key. They've been having that because severally I've come across them meeting in office of the Assistant Commissioner of Police in charge of operation at the FCT command, where you see representative of the naval unit coming, you see that of the army, you see the immigration, you see the VIO, you see the road safety, civil defense, NDLA, and whatever. And you know, in FCT we also have Security Council. Most of these agencies are members of the FCT Security Council. You have the police there, you have the army, navy, air force, immigration, VIO, road safety, civil defense, NDLA, DSS, and others. They are all members of Security Council. And most of the operations they've been carrying on has been in synergy. But beyond that, just the way I advise, let the rapid response of Lagos example be practiced here. Because the rapid response squad of Lagos, they are very, very sophisticated, and they have produced some of the best officers for the Nigerian police. I can give you an example now of the River State Commissioner of Police, Tunde Disu, who was Itato, the commanding officer, the OC of Rapid Intelligence Response Team here. He was severally head of RRS in Lagos, DC, Tunde Disu, that is now Commissioner of Police in charge of River State. A lot of them were produced from RRS, and today, even Abba Kyari, that is now in prison, was in Lagos, in Kwanti. So the issues I'm saying in Abuja here, let there be a well-grounded rapid response squad to be made up of DSS, Army, Navy, Air Force, VIO, road safety, civil defense, police, and others, beyond just that of the police.
All right, let's look at the slums. You know, most slums in Abuja, you find that you don't even know about them until they're big enough. You have a lot of people living in those slums within the city center.
Madam, let me help you. You don't know about them, no matter how big they are. They are there, but you don't see them. They're like invisible slums behind highbrow areas or between highbrow areas.
You have them
these are green areas, but they are there. You can't see them.
You can't see
and
them.
Then these places are the heaven for people like the Maybolas and so on.
Yes.
Who are some of the biggest security threats in the FCT.
Yes.
Nobody's doing anything to solve the problem, because you remember the areas you say people can't go. These are not recent developments. They've been there since forever. And it is believed that this issue made and just raised, the people who operate in these places appear from these invisible slums.
Not even from the outskirts.
Invisible slums within the center of Abuja. Listen, if those guys between Area 1 and Berger grab any of your stuff and climb into what you think are the hills, forget about it. Not even any policeman will go after them. So, let me allow Meda to land on that thought. I'm just trying to help you expand on
Thank you for that help, Maddox. Yes, so what can be done really? Is it that we demolish? They've been doing a lot of demolitions and everything, but there's still lots of them. You demolish today, you have another one spring up, or even at the same place. A few days later, they come back. They build those shacks. Your things are missing. You call them Ebola. That's what they are. Babambola. They come to your house, they pick things, and the following day you're passing by, you see they've put them somewhere, they call them partakers, and you're seeing your properties, but you dare not go there. So is it the demolition that will help to solve this problem? What exactly can be done?
No, the FCT authorities, to the best of my knowledge, have been taking action because of recent. The Commissioner of Police, Director of Development Control, Director Abuja Environmental Protection Board, Director Monitoring, Director FCT DRTS, which is the VIO, and others, including the DSS, they went in mass, in convoy to demolish some of these slums. But as they are demolishing it, as they are leaving, they are erecting new ones. I will give you closer slums that are closer to you. That area I mentioned between National Mosque and Tofa House, under that bridge that links to Mohammed Abacha Estate and Sheraton, which is now Abuja Intercontinental Hotel. There are ready-made slums there right now. If you leave the studio and go there, they are there. And these are the boys that when you are passing, that snatches your handbag and phone.
And nobody
as
knows
I'm talking to you, then in Zone 3, if you know Zone 3 very well, when you are going to customs, there is a National Commission for Blood Transfusion.
Yes.
By the rights, there is a place that is under dispute, an open place. Right now, as I'm talking to you, there are heap of refuse dumped there. That place has been taken over by Babambola for long.
And then between Zone 3 and the back of this World Trade Center building in central area, that's the free area.
So then, when you go to Koscharis,
that's the area.
They are also there. So they're even closer to you. They're in Maitama too.
Yes.
They are all there. So the issues are, I think, the Abuja Environmental Protection Board and the Development Control, FCT, has a lot of tasks ahead of them. Even though I know they are doing their best, I think they need to also, they have district officers. I wonder if not corruption, what are these district officers doing? Because development control for every area, for example, like Mabushina, if you are erecting illegal building, the district officers will know and go and put red paint. So if they have that eagle eye, how come when they go and demolish these slums, they don't still use that same eagle eye to monitor this erection of these slums again? So I think the tax lies beyond the police and security agencies. There are agencies in FCT that are mentioning. And we even have Abuja Metropolitan Management Limited that supervises both environmental development control. So I think whoever is the coordinator, Abuja Metropolitan Management Limited, you need to do. Let me give you an example. Like when this issue of kidnapping and banditry was becoming higher in FCT, there is an acting managing director of Abuja Market Management Limited. He came out to give standing order to his market management managers across that security in markets should be beefed. That is, I think I can remember, Engineer Yakubu Abbas in FCT markets. And they started doing it. So if this can happen at Abuja Market Management Limited, Development Control, Abuja Environmental Protection Board, I think the directors need to post disciplined and non-corruptible officers to these areas we mentioned. Central area, from Women's Center, Sahad Stores, CD Plaza, to National Mosque up to Sheraton. Most of these bush parts are no-go areas. From 8 o'clock, those slums are still there. They're extending to even Yauza Chicken under the bridge there. You can find them up to this Disney Dome and others. There are Mabushi parts, then other areas that extend to Life Camp, Gwarimpa, and also others. So that is why I said supervision and surveillance is also key. Then for the Department of State Services FCT Command, as well as the FCT Police Command, I think their surveillance needed to be enhanced and intelligence gathering. I know that the DSS FCT Command, periodically you see some motorcycle with 2 e-loxes patrolling. Beyond that, the FCT metropolis is very, very big. We need stationed officers. Like I mentioned some of these flashpoints. So I think the Nigerian police, DSS, and other agencies can do us good by permanently posting. And do you know the irony of it is that close to that bridge where they rob people in this Tofa House area, meters away, you have police patrol vehicle stationed there, checking. One wonders what are they checking. Also at the National Mosque, you see them checking there. So beyond just standing in one point, doing stop and search, some of these posted officers from Wuse Divisional Headquarters, Federal Secretariat Divisional Headquarters, Utako Divisional Headquarters, Left Camp Divisional Headquarters, Metropolitan Area Command, Maitama Divisional Headquarters, Gariki Divisional Headquarters, Apo Zone A Divisional Headquarters, Apo Resettlement Divisional Headquarters, Durumi Divisional Headquarters, and other outposts in Waru, Wasa, and other areas need to also do foot patrol. If possible, let motorcycles be given to them, fuel and allowances. They need to patrol these bush paths because in the evenings, people are not able to pass freely. Even in Wuse too, during clubbing days, let me give you an example. You see somebody coming out to say, oh my God, they've broken my glass.
Yeah.
In Yahuza Chicken, this National Mosque,
Yeah.
there is a man that works in waterboard. He just parked his vehicle in that Yahuza that is fortified to go and pray. Less than 1 hour. They used chemical to break the smaller glass at the back and took his laptop. And he has things there for 30 years. Similarly, in H Medics Garki, you know, by the roadside, they parked there. H Medics Garki. A director in Federal Ministry of Water Resources last year, right in my very good eye, he entered the H Medics to go and get some things. Less than 1 hour, they used chemical to break the small glass. Important documents were in that laptop, they took it away. In his ELOS 2020 model. The man is from Borno State. He's a director in water resources. I know if he's listening to me. There are many filed reports on instances like that. My own vehicle too, during one of the Performing Musician Association of Nigeria meeting in Gwarimpa, close to police station, by the roadside. We parked by the roadside. They came, used chemical to break the small glass, took a bag containing Nigerian rappers, this shutdown, whatever they just brought, worth 250,000. That was 2 years ago. I went and incidented it at Gwarimpa Divisional Headquarters. The next morning around 8 o'clock, they say by sighted gate, somebody called and said one of the phones they carried was seen on the ground. I went and got it, but the rappers, I didn't get it till date. So these are some of the things they do, even in these departmental stores, exclusive stores, Sahat stores, CD Plaza, eateries, all these silver beds. Sometimes if you are not careful, before you come out, they break your glass and take. So Nigerians should be aware. So for the security agencies, they should always post plainclothes agents to supervise and lay surveillance, because when you are surveying, when you are carrying out, so nobody knows you are a detective or police or whatever. You'll be able to catch some of them. Then sometimes you can disguise, like for example from Area 1, that bridge that links to National Hospital, your vehicle cannot break down, you stop there and then they'll come from the bush. Similarly, Wuye Bridge too, the same thing. Beggar Bridge too, sometimes they come out from the bush when your vehicle gets spoiled. So I think those areas needed to be constantly and consistently patrolled in order to safeguard the lives and properties of people. So if the Commissioner of Police, Mr. Bennett Igwe, is hearing me, take note, sir, with due respect. Director of Security Services FCTA, take note, sir. Director of FCT DSS, take note, sir. Commandant of Civil Defense FCT, take note. Director DRTS, Dr. Abdulatif Bello, take note. FRSC sector commander, then other heads of service agencies like immigration controller, customs, and others. Then naval unit commandant take note and others, because collectively, then also, Mr. Maddock, we also have roles to play. Security is not the responsibility of the security agencies alone. We are also citizens police. We as FCT residents also, when we see some faces we are not comfortable to, we should go and report to security agents. The outposts are there of the police, the division headquarters are there, and there are other equivalents. We also sometimes we see certain things before they happen, we go and we keep mum, and after they
But
happen,
sometimes people will tell you if we report, nothing is done. Really.
well, I agree with that, because I can tell you my frustration in Apo division headquarters. I went to
I think we should keep speaking. You never know the one. that
Even if
responds
nothing
to-
is done.
But because we are gradually running out of time, so let's even look at funding of security in the FCT. The security agencies are all federal controlled, and one would have thought that probably the federal government would have taken direct control of security in the FCT, considering like practically every who is who and what is what of the federal government is domiciled here in Abuja, not to talk about diplomatic missions and their residencies and other agencies that are resident here in Abuja. But the Minister for the FCT, Wike, when defending the FCT budget for 2024, pointed out something that, look, as a governor, he used to get security votes, which enabled him to fund some special projects without having to go through plenty bureaucracy. But now, within the FCT, there's no provision for security votes, and he could, even in a snap of a finger, give 20 million naira in cash to maybe the police or anybody who need funds for some special operations. But now in the FCT, he can't even give as much as 500,000 naira. And he was asking the National Assembly to build in some security votes for the FCT in the budget for this year. Do you think this request from Wike is probably one key leap forward for security in the FCT?
You see, the FCT is just like a state and not a state. That is why the Honorable Minister is getting it wrong. You don't need FCT Minister to have security vote forward, because most of the subvention you get an allocation. They are for the development and protection of the FCT. The President is the chairman. So you as FCT Minister, you are like his emissary in FCT. So if you want to compare FCT with states, you are trying to relegate the powers of the President. So I think most of these fundings, for example, you have ages, they generate revenue for the FCT. The FCT VL you are saying, they generate billions of money for FCT, they go into FCT treasuries. Most of these monies as well can be used for security. So let us tell ourselves the truth sometimes. If FCT Minister says he must wait for security vote, how has his predecessors been faring on maintaining security? So I think what we need to do, we have diplomatic presence in FCT, we have banks, we have institutions. There's what you call corporate social responsibility. If the minister don't know how to go about it, let me just give him an expo. He can go to Central Bank, for instance, and complain to the CBN governor. They can give him money. The headquarters of CBN is there on corporate social responsibility. He can go to the group managing director of NNPC. They will give him what they call CSR money. So, but for him to say the National Assembly should approve security vote, I think that is not and void. I've mentioned to you the agencies that generate revenue for the FCT. So I think with the allocation and subvention they are getting, Mr. Maddock, they can manage it very well. What we are lacking, I think, is prudent use of resources. If they put their resources into better use, they can be able to get adequate security for FCT. After all, the FCT does not pay the police. They only complement the effort by saying, okay, out of this, let us assist you so funds, so vehicles. But their wages are paid by the Nigerian police, so also the Army, Navy, Air Force, and other security. Outside the VL that is their own, you know, the VL is under the FCTA, so they pay them and what have you, and they also generate revenue for them. So by and large, I think the minister must not wait for approval of security vote before you achieve security in FCT.
Wow, there's so much around security. We could just go on and on. But thank you so very much, Comrade Salim Danjeta Mohammed, for coming.
Thank you very much. My elderly good friend, Mr. Maddox, and my younger sister, Maria Mohammed. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. And that will be it on the People's Breakfast for today. Thank you so much for staying with us on the dial. Remember that at the top of the hour, 10 o'clock, the news updates will be coming your way. My name is Maria Mohammed.
And my name is Maddox. We'll do this again tomorrow. Until then, keep it locked on the People's 105.